Hey guys!
Hey, great vibes. How y'all doing?
So, if you clicked on this video, you saw the title of it. And so yeah, we're just going to be answering some questions. Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, we officially knew a couple days after Jerry's second birthday because in Louisiana, a doctor can't officially diagnose a child with autism until they're at least 2 years old, so that's the minimum age they evaluate any child for autism. So that's when we officially found out. However, I felt like something was different around 11 or 12 months old. So that's when I kind of just started noticing things in baby Jerry, and it's so crazy because I don't even have, at that point I didn't have another child to compare him to or whatever, but I felt something, like I just felt, I don't know, just certain things that I noticed that I just knew around 11 or 12 months. And I remember back then you were like, and everyone actually, him, my parents, his parents, everyone was just like, oh, he's just a kid, you know, like he's fine. But that's when I kind of had the feeling something was up.
You know, I didn't pick up on it. You know, I was firstborn, my son, here's my name. I was super in denial. Like, no, I think I get it from my dad, because my dad, he's very like prideful, like macho, nothing's wrong.
I love your dad,
Like, you know, he's very loving, but he's super like, you know, show no weakness type of thing.
Ain't nothing wrong with him.
Ain't nothing wrong with that boy, fine. I was doing the same exact thing, you know. That's a defense, you know, that goes up as a father. You know, if you have children out there, you know how it is. Mothers too, you get super defensive. And I know a lot of y'all mothers or parents might, you know, look at your child or if you have a child similar, this may help you, you know. But I had a lot of mixed feelings, very extreme, you know, very angry feelings, you know.
Was actually in our room, and then I got a phone call. I was on the phone for about 2 hours with the psychologist at Children's Hospital, and he was just telling me
In New Orleans, right?
Yes, in New Orleans, an overload of like information, overwhelming information, and like coming from the phone, certain things that he said sounded like really scary and just overwhelming. So I was a wreck. I mean, I was in tears, I had anxiety over it, I was sad, I was angry, I had like all of these mixed emotions, and I think I know those emotions came from an ignorant space because I didn't really know what to expect. So all I know at this point was like, oh my goodness, this doctor's telling me all these things about my son.
Like what?
Like, oh, you know, he's right in this area, however, in social communication, he's very delayed, he communicates differently, and he's...
I know, what was the scariest thing?
The scariest thing that he said...
He said a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of scary stuff, so...
It was a lot of stuff, like how he wouldn't be able to be in regular, normal, like society, normal classrooms, like... And that just by itself like scared me, like, okay, like I just thought about bullying, like my son, he's
not just that, I don't think you want your kids to be treated differently.
Yeah,
you want a kid to just be able to get along with everybody and not be like sympathy or pity party or things like that.
So I was just hearing all these things that I saw as negative about my son. So like Jerry, that's where I felt like not just defensive, but like I was just really scared and I was just really sad. And I cried a lot about it, and I didn't want to go on YouTube. That wasn't my first thought, was to go on YouTube and to like cry to you guys. And like, what was I gonna tell you? At that point, I didn't really know much about it. And like Jerry said,
we couldn't really digest it.
Yeah, like soak it all in.
Yeah, we couldn't digest it. We weren't educated yet, so it's like...
And we're still learning. It's
still
a learning process.
But it's been a while, and you know, we've gotten comfortable and we've adjusted to all the information we've been given and all the behaviors that we witnessed. Early on, it's super overwhelming, just me from my perspective. I give all credit to Dee because she's been wanting to, you talk about it on camera, and I've been the one that said no, I don't want to share, I don't want to talk about it, because I want people to just see him as, a little boy, a little perfect little boy, just like my daughter. I don't want anybody to treat anybody any differently, because I wouldn't want that for myself.
I was so unsure about it. I was on the fence about sharing it, because ultimately this is my son's health, and now I've learned that it's really nothing to be sad or nothing to cry about, because Jerry, like you said.
But we cried it all out.
Yeah, we cried enough. Like,
I think it's because we didn't know, and it's uncomfortable. It's new. Any type of new change or new information that no one we know has an autistic child. So it becomes like, man, why our child?
I feel really good about telling you guys now that I'm okay and I'm not a nervous wreck and just a crying mess, because y'all know my kids, I will cry over in a heartbeat all the time. So.
Yeah, months ago I was super angry, so I wouldn't be able to talk to y'all. I just would get quiet. And it's like, it's none of your business. Like, leave me alone. I'll fight you. All that type of stuff.
Me personally, because I've also realized that there's this stigma. Like, the more I read on autism, the more I see forums of people, talking about autism, there's like this stigma about autism, or towards the word autism, that isn't from people meaning to be deliberately mean, but more so just the fact that they're ignorant, maybe because they don't really know much about autism, just like how we were in the very beginning.
No, not ashamed, not embarrassed, either one. It just was like I said, it's a digestion thing. It's trying to understand my angel. That's my child. It was more of a personal understanding that I needed. I need to understand what's going on. I still am learning and experiencing it with my son and with no, I wouldn't use either one of those words. That's my child. I'll never be embarrassed or ashamed of anything because no matter what. I don't care what it is. Trust me. Never.
I agree. I've never been ashamed. I've never felt embarrassed about this. If anything, like I said in the beginning, I was just scared, nervous, angry, because I just didn't know what to expect. So that's where all of those feelings came from. Honestly, autism to me, like, that word is like a label that society puts on the minority of children that aren't society's standard of normal.
I don't look at it as like a child with autism. I look at it as like a child, I think parenting is difficult. I think it's the toughest job you ever had, or we've ever had. And our parents, I'm sure they would agree, all the stuff we put our parents through. But I look at it as like just a normal child. And the thing is, a lot of y'all don't know, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I grew up, my grandmother, my dad's mother, she fostered kid, how you say, foster child, like adopted, I don't know how you say it. She took in multiple handicapped children. So I grew up around a lot of disabled, autistic, mentally special needs kids, like, my whole life. So every time I go over my grandmother's house, she'll have at least 6 to 10 kids, that she would just take care of. So I've been around disabilities from a young age, so I'm very sensitive to it. I never was judgmental or mean, even though I didn't understand it as a little boy. I just knew that, she just was taking care of these kids and she was loving them. That was it.
And now you said that, same with me. Like, in high school, I used to babysit my school counselor's son, and he has special needs, and he was the sweetest boy, and I never, again, like, who does that? I would never judge a kid, period, or anyone with special needs. I don't see Jerry and think autism or think that word at all. And that's, like I said, another reason why we were on the fence about sharing. I want him to be seen as Jerry because that's who he is, Jerry. And family will always. I'm not worried about him at all. Besides my normal general mommy worries with not just Jerry,
so
but
you're gonna be worried about
but Jordan as well. I'm saying in the regards to his autism, I don't think that it will affect anything. I think ultimately, I think Jerry's gonna be something so great.
But I think it's important to say, like, we gotta share some of the education we've gotten. Like they say, a lot of children that have disabilities or autism, their early diagnosis is like the best way to guide them and help them get better with certain areas.
Yeah, early intervention.
Yeah, so I think that's more important to share, like our education, because we've been taught, you know, if you catch things early, if you notice signs in a child that you know you're around, your child, a cousin, a nephew, if you notice certain characteristics that we learned and saw from Jerry, as far as not making eye contact, flapping of the arms, uncontrollable tantrums, where it's just like they can't help themselves and they see things, they freak out.
Loud noises,
the screaming.
Playing with toys the wrong way.
Well, the wrong way, because Jerry would line up and very, very detailed. And I started looking at myself, because I'm an artist. I was always justified, oh, he's doing amazing things, because I used to do the same things as a kid. I might be autistic. I don't know. But I don't know, like, what's the difference between autistic and artist? Because super creative, super wired different, you know, kind of genius children, genius people.
He is advanced and he gets evaluated regularly, and academically he is above standard.
Yeah, he's super, super intelligent, but autism is the delayed stuff, and that's why we have speech therapists for him, we have counseling.
Occupational therapy and behavioral therapy.
Tell me about all the stuff that you do, like, you know, that we haven't talked about. We've only talked about speech therapy, but Dee does so many programs and find Jerry so many teachers and help. I think it's very important to look up and do your research. How do you find it?
Well, I Google. Google has been really helpful, and also Jerry's pediatrician has been helpful. And just from the initial diagnosis, you know, as soon as you go in and as soon as we had Jerry evaluated, which was at the youngest possible age, I actually called in, scheduled an appointment. It took about 4 to 6 months ahead of time. So yeah, so we waited a long time, but it was perfect because it was a couple days after his second birthday anyways, so he couldn't be evaluated any earlier.
Yeah, and Jerry's 3 right now.
Yeah, he's
his
3
birthday
now.
Is December 17th.
Yeah, so we've known for, since his second birthday pretty much. But since then, you know, after that diagnosis, they kind of guide you through the steps. They're not behind you watching you though, so you really have to make lots of phone calls, fill out a whole bunch of paperwork, have your insurance companies involved.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, so we have to be honest about that. And Dee, she gets all the credit for that. I've just been a support system and been here to help her and whatever she may need from me, but she's going through a lot of paperwork, a lot of conversations, a lot of phone calls, a lot of interviews. We just had someone leave the house, what was that, 2 weeks ago? Yeah. To evaluate him and check him out, see what his weaknesses are, what his strengths are.
Yeah.
Just to try to help him, you know, go forward.
Yeah, so, and that's actually another reason why we came out to the West Coast and to Arizona, because they have an amazing school district out here. They have amazing resources for children with autism. So with that being said, I'm not worried about him at all, his future, because we are taking all the right steps. Yeah, right. We've been since we found out. And even though it's not shared on the vlogs because I can't record, you know, his sessions, they're private. But yeah, but even though you don't see it on the vlog, it's been happening. Well, when he first got diagnosed, they said moderate, which was in the middle. So there's mild, moderate, severe. After some time has gone by, it's been over a year, all of his therapists and doctors, they think he's more of on the mild. And he's also very high functioning. They highly believe that he can be mainstreamed into regular classes by the time he's ready to start school. They're gonna be normal just like they have been. I mean, we may share a little bit more about his autism if it is, something that is resourceful, that maybe other moms and dads that are dealing or have kids with autism, then we may share a little bit of information like that. Ultimately, Jerry and Jordan, they're both amazing kids. They're both so smart. They both have taught me so much about being a mother. So much. They've taught me so much strength. They've taught me so much patience. Any closing statements?
Yeah, I don't know. Thank y'all just for all your love and support. A lot of people have, made comments about you may be autistic and you're correct, with little things, and that's a good thing. You're educated. A lot of people we've seen as grapevines, as our viewers have witnessed or have seen kids with autism, and they saw things in Jerry that they're familiar with. So
I've also seen comments where they would say it in a negative.
And I think that's fine. I think you have to take that with it, because
yeah, for sure.
We look within ourselves, and when we found out, I looked at it as like, oh my God. It's not uncommon for majority of people to see it as like a mentally handicapped thing. We share our life on a daily. We try to have our vlogs be very happy, fun, positive, and celebrate, us being parents and having two beautiful kids, boy and a girl. We can't ask for anything better in our life. This is just something that God put in our lives for us to educate ourselves, to learn, to get us out of our comfort zone, especially for me. Because I'm super, I like structure, I like things in a certain order. And when things, I feel like, I'm standing out, or my kid is some type of special needs, I get super defensive and I got super angry. And Dee knows, I didn't really want to record or say or share this information, because I always said it was private, because I would focus on the people that don't know, and I would look at them as being like, oh, they're gonna attack or they're gonna pray. And going back to that question, like, oh, am I worried about him in the future? No, but because I know, like Dee said, we are working toward helping strengthening his weaker areas. Just like Jordan, she helps him in a lot of ways. A lot of people don't realize that.
Sweet.
I came from a house of siblings, Dee came from a house of siblings, and y'all know it too. When you have siblings, you kind of bounce things off each other, you teach each other. Jordan is a vital asset to Jerry's therapy and his growth, because she talks and uses sentences and does all the things that Jerry doesn't exactly know how to do because of his autism. And he picks up, they do monkey see, monkey do type of thing. And we're so grateful for Jordan. You wouldn't even realize how big of an impact the other child that's a year younger, has on Jerry. So us as a family, me, Dee, Jordan, Lola, Grands, all the grandmas, the nanas, and that's how you said, nanas? Nanas. Our whole family, all our friends, we all are learning together. We're all understanding and loving on these children. That's what I think it comes down to. And I appreciate all y'all that show and pray for us and send love our way, because we really appreciate it. And we feel the same way for y'all. Whatever y'all going through out there, if you have a special needs kid, or if you have a normal kid, or quote unquote normal kid, we still pray for you, because as a parent, you're still gonna deal with tantrums, still gonna deal with crying fits, and your kid not walking as fast as another kid, or your child not knowing the ABCs, or it's always something. So our heart goes out to y'all just like y'all hearts go out to us, and we really appreciate y'all, and we thank y'all for tuning in. And we just want to do this for the people out there that need it, and if you don't have kids yet, down the line, if something like our experience happens for you, you'll be better prepared and you'll know how to handle it a little bit better. Thank y'all so much for your love and support for Jerry and Jordan, our two beautiful kids. We can't thank God enough for giving us these two beautiful babies.
Don't be making me cry now.
We wouldn't change nothing. we wouldn't turn nothing back, like the time or nothing. We like things how they are now, and we're gonna move forward as a family, strong, together, me and my wife. I'm there you go. And y'all are great fans.
Forever and ever, grapevines. Forever and ever.
Thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all again tomorrow with a brand new vlog. We do vlogs every day. If you're new to us, subscribe. Enter our daily poll. We would love to know what you think about autism and certain questions I'm gonna ask y'all. top right corner. That's right here, right? Yeah, that's right there. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.